Unmuting, yes. Screen share and ready to go. All righty. Yes, it is. You are totally correct. And we have length times width, also known as base times height. And why we can use base and height is a rectangle has what kind of angle in the corner here?
Right.
Bingo. And height, that H, always creates a right angle. So in the next 2 weeks, every single equation you see, that H means there's a right angle there somewhere. Okay? All right. Put your arms up like this. Say rectangle, base times height.
Rectangle, base.
Now shove it sideways. Parallelogram. Do you see that a parallelogram is basically a rectangle shoved sideways? You get that? So guess what a parallelogram is?
Length times width.
Base times height. Base times height. But there's a caveat there. Remember, height always makes a right angle. So in a parallelogram, because it's shoved sideways, the height drops down straight down from a corner, either inside or outside. And the base is either one of these sides that it meets, and you only need one of them. Hi, Abby. I'm redoing the lesson for Gabriella from in class.
Okay.
So if you want, you can work on the preview notes.
Yeah.
And then I'll happily go over it with you if you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it start with 8.2?
It does start with 8.2. Yeah, because there was no preview notes for 8.1. That's why the lecture was a little bit longer.
Okay.
So height always creates what kind of an angle?
Right.
That's super important. Okay. Come over here. We have ourselves a parallelogram. Again, base times height. Connect the corners, draw on a diagonal. Let's shade one side. Let me know if I'm going too fast, okay? Shade one side. When you shade half a parallelogram, what shape do you get?
Triangle.
Bingo. So that implies a triangle is how much of a parallelogram?
Half.
Bingo. That's where we get this equation for a triangle. A triangle is simply half a parallelogram. So what's a parallelogram?
Half of it.
No. What's a parallelogram? Base.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Parallelogram.
Yeah, base times height.
Base times height. You're so correct. But then for a triangle, it's simply over 2.
Okay.
Because it's half. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. There's kind of 3 versions of this. So in an acute triangle, good morning. Okay. I am redoing yesterday's lesson here with Gabriella.
No, I just need, we don't have to do none of the preview notes, right? It's just,
8.2. Abby's working on it right now. Yeah. Preview notes would be good. And then if you want to work ahead, I can print tomorrow's lesson. You can work ahead if you'd like.
no, I'm gonna just, do my.
Preview notes, get them out of the way. Good, then I'm here to help if you need it. All right, so in an acute triangle, this would be your base. Obtuse triangle, this would be your base. And this would be your base, right? In an acute triangle, the height is inside. Because it has to create what kind of an angle?
Right.
A right angle. So here we are, area equals base times height over 2. In an obtuse triangle, if you put your pen right here, to get a right angle, the height is actually outside the triangle. Do you see that? So there's like an imaginary line stretched out. So in an acute triangle, the height is in. Obtuse triangle, the height is out. Same equation, area equals base times height over 2. You still okay?
Yeah.
In a right triangle, if I put my pencil here and I go straight down, do you see that my height is actually on? Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's on. So the equation we use for a right triangle, instead of calling this a base, we're just going to use the term leg, because that's a leg, right, in a right triangle. And this is also a what?
Wait, what?
The red is also a what?
A leg.
It's also a leg. So for right triangle, we do one leg times the other leg over 2. EK, you good, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Abby, making sense so far?
Yeah.
Good. Wyatt, taking notes? Good deal. You okay so far?
Yeah.
Good. Holler at me. All right. So parallelogram, make a parallelogram. Say, well, let's start with the rectangle. Rectangle is what times what?
Point times width.
And let's use the other one. Rectangle is
One height.
base times height. Parallelogram is also.
Base times height.
Okay. Guess what a trapezoid is also? Trapezoid's technically also
Base times height.
kinda. Because see, it's kind of the same shape, but there is a little bit of a trick. All right. So a parallelogram is base times height. Technically, a trapezoid is also base times height, but put a little star by the base. There's like something's weird about the base. I'm trying to change colors. There we are. Got it. Do you see here that the base is the same thing on both sides?
Yeah.
So we only have one. Look here at the parallelogram. What's different in the, the trapezoid? What's different about the trapezoid bases?
They're differently.
They're different. So we can't use exactly that same base because we have 2 different. Howdy.
Just a quickie.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you have colored pencils?
Kind of. How many do you need?
Well, I have an art project tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out whether. No, that's not enough.
I used to have a bucket. Let me think. I used to have a bucket of colors. Let's see if it's still around.
If not, I will.
Do you need it for like multiple students?
Yeah, it's an art project they've got scheduled for me. I never did it last. Oh, you don't have it.
No.
I'll go figure this out.
My bucket has
I may make
disappeared.
a quick trip to someplace.
Maybe the art department? That would mean going all the way to
I'll ask
conservatory.
Rachel how she did it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And because we have 2 different bases, what we do is we average those bases. How do you average anything? Like how would you average 2 numbers? What would you do to them? If I wanted to find the average between your age and my age, we would take those 2 numbers and do what?
Subtract it.
No, we take those 2 numbers and we
Put them together.
not subtract, but
Add
add, and then we divide by 2. That's how we average for 2 things. So the bases, because the bases are different, we have to average the bases. Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Times the height, again, which creates a right angle. So in a trapezoid, the bases are the parallel sides, and the height, you drop straight down, right angle. So it's kind of base times height, but we have to average the bases because we have 2 different bases. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. EK, you still good, sir?
Yeah, I'm good.
Abby, making sense? Okay. Wyatt, making sense? Taking notes? All righty. Next one. Go ahead and trace the diagonals. This is for a kite and a rhombus. What kind of angle's in the middle, Abby? There, Gabriella?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, because they both have right angles in the middle, we know that a right triangle, just kind of as a recap, a right triangle is leg times leg over 2, correct? Right?
Yeah.
All right. But we have 4 triangles. So this leg and this leg together is one diagonal. You see what I'm doing? This leg and this leg together is the other diagonal. So instead of doing 4 right triangles, we simply times the diagonals. That gets all the legs in one fell swoop, and then we simply divide by 2. So it's diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 over 2. And that's times, not plus. You good so far? Good. Ready? Test yourself. Ask yourself, I'm going to freeze it. How many of those can you pull from memory? Go. I'll give you like a minute, and then we'll go over it.
Wait, are these like the equations?
Yep, just the equations. Best of your ability. See what you can do. You at least got a parallelogram, right?
I'm still thinking about it.
Okay, take your time. You are listening to it? Okay. I saw your phone out earlier. Got it? Oh, you're charging it. Okay, good job. I want to make sure you understand. It's thick because there's a lot of diagrams. There's a lot, and the diagrams are big, so don't panic. They're still going to average about 30 minutes a night. It's not going to turn into 2 hours, I promise. Yeah. You're watching. You're listening to the video too. Yeah. Right. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Is this making sense so far? Okay, you really need Post-it notes, Wyatt, so we can get you some. So Wyatt, when it says use Post-it notes, please do use Post-it notes. It really helps the situation, okay? There we go. Got it? Alrighty, let's check here, Gabriella. So first off, the parallelogram and the rectangle are both base times height. Right? Okay. And the trapezoid is kind of base times height, but we have to average the bases, remember? Average the bases, then times the height. So that's the trapezoid. Both the rhombus and the kite have the exact same equation. What is it? It's related to the diagonals. Look at the top of your paper.
The diagonal 1, diagonal 2.
Diagonal 1 times the diagonal 2 over 2. And diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 over 2. All right. A square qualifies as a rectangle. So base and height, but our base and our height are exactly the same thing. So we call that side squared. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But a square also qualifies as a rhombus, so I can use the rhombus equation also for a square if I needed to. So diagonals over 2 right angle. Kai, are we finishing Alex together?
Yeah, can I get a Chromebook for my upstairs real quick?
Yeah, if you want. Don't you have your? You still didn't find your iPad, kiddo? You know what? We'll do. Yeah, go ahead. Did you try it on your own? Are you almost done?
Yeah, I did some of it on my own.
Okay. What would you prefer to work on?
I'd rather get that.
Let's then go get your
I did
Chromebook.
the extra credit last night too.
Fabulous. Got it. Okay, you ready, Gabriella? Let's do some problems together. All right. Can you read this problem out loud?
The area of a parallelogram is 72 centimeters squared. If the base length is 12 centimeters, what is the height?
Okay, start underlining your key words. What's your first thought here?
Base times height.
Okay, kinda. This is really important. Equations have 2 sides with an equal sign. So Gabriella, we always write the equation. Watch. Area equals. Because it's an equation, and an equation by definition has 2 equal sides. So that's very important. You always put both sides. Got it? Okay, let's take a look here. What could we do with this number?
Put it in the A spot.
Yes, so what we have is we have the area of the parallelogram to be 72 centimeters squared. So that goes here. Got it. And what do we do with this number?
Put it in the B spot.
Mm-hmm. So we have our base, which is 12 cm. And what's our unknown? Height is our unknown. We'll call that x. No, you're not using a calculator for that. We'll do it together. Okay, so we have 72 divided by 12. What number goes into both of those?
9.
No, 9 doesn't.
I mean 3.
Whoa, hang on. No, hang on. I wrote that right. It's 12, not 14. Okay. You want to do 3? Or you want to do 2? Okay. So we're going to divide. No, you're not using a calculator. Okay. 12 divided by 2 is easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go 72 divided by 2, longhand.
36.
It is 36. Now notice, now you can still reduce this, can't you?
Yeah.
What is it?
6.
6. There you go. So our height is what? 6. Careful. What do we need to add?
Centimeters.
There we go. Ta-da! Nice. 2 more real quick. Why don't you go ahead, read that out loud?
Find the base length of the trapezoid. The area of the trapezoid is 42 centimeters.
Okay, what's your first thought?
Area equals. Trapezoid.
Trapezoid. Mm-hmm.
So area equals base 1 plus base 2 over 2.
Yeah, we average the bases. You are totally correct. So we average the bases and then we times by the what?
2.
No, times by the,
Length.
what do we call that red piece? Look in your equation.
Leg. Oh yeah.
No, what do we call that? The red?
Oh, the angle.
No, the red. Look at the equation on your paper. Look at, put your finger on the left-hand side.
The length.
No, look in the left-hand side. Now hang on, take a look. What is it?
Oh, the height.
Height, yeah, you need the height there. Okay. Kai, are you all loaded up? And do you have your study guide in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question.
Yes, sir. What's that?
Why, if this area is 72, I got the answer, 24.
Yes, sir, it is. It's going to be 24 cm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why, how does 24 times 6 equal 72?
It doesn't. What's the equation? Base times height over 2, sir.
So plug it back in?
So why don't you write this down? Why don't you write 24 times 6 over 2? 24.
Oh, to plug back in?
24 times 6 over 2. 2 goes into 24 how many times?
12.
Cross it out, cross that out. And then 12 times 6 is 72.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if I were to
You need
put the
something
other
right
one-
to get.
oh, never mind, okay.
Clean up my back off.
Okay? And, Guy, I need to be able to talk to you, sir. If you're listening to music at the same time, it's going to be.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Let's get your study guide out.
I'm not listening to you.
You're always listening to music, Guy. I know that. Okay, times height. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Now, where do our numbers go?
42 goes in the A spot.
Okay, 42 equals, all right, it goes here.
I mean, it's called.
6 and 10.
Okay, well, do you see that says base?
Yes.
Okay, the base
Oh,
are the parallel sides.
X and 10.
Okay, you're correct. This is X, this is 10. And then what goes here at the H? 6. Okay. What's your first instinct here?
42 equals 10x over 2.
10?
10.
Well, what do you want to do with that 6? It's on the outside of the
Multiply
parenthesis.
it.
multiply, okay, let's do that. We're going to distribute. So now we're going to read 42 equals 6x plus what? 60 over 2. That 2 doesn't impact the 6. Okay, pop it over 1. Now what? You see what we're doing?
Yes.
What did I do?
You multiplied 42.
Cross multiplied. Uh-huh. Got it. Did you find it, Kai? And do you have your study guide out, sir?
Yeah, I'm finding my login.
Okay. EK making sense?
Yeah.
You sure? Okay. Abby, you good? I'll be checking on you some more. Wyatt, making sense? Good deal?
X equals 4.
Yes, it does. Ta-da! For what?
Centimeters.
Yes, ma'am. Ta-da! Alrighty, we are almost done. You'll be able to zoom through today's lesson. Get a sign off. Fabulous. Ready? Read that out loud.
In the rhombus below, trace the diagonals. What kind of angle is in the middle?
So what, right here in a rhombus, what kind of angle is here?
A right angle.
Yes, ma'am, that's really important. If you have a right angle there, all that right triangle stuff is really important. Okay, keep reading.
Trace the segment 10.
Okay,
X. Oh,
let's do that. There's 10. 10's only that piece. Ready? Keep going.
trace X.
There's X.
Find X. Find the length of both diagonals, then find the area of the rhombus.
Okay, so let's write out our rhombus area equation. Get that out. Go ahead. Find the equation, write it down. All right, guys, let's go then.
I can't find that.
Yeah, it's fine. I got it here. I got it here. Hang tight. Let's not waste time. Let me just pause recording. All right, so Gabriella, we want to solve for x. So you are correct. We are going to do leg squared. I'm going to color code it here for you. Plus leg squared equals, and this would be our hypo here, right? What's the length of our hypo? Yes, ma'am. Good. So we have x squared. This one you may use a calculator. I'll finally let you use a calculator. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that there. You're going to solve for x. Got it? And yes, you may use a calculator. Alrighty, sir. Let me make sure you're in. It's Way Geometry 202.
I know him.
And it's K. Hamilton 2429. Do you need to see it again? These Chromebooks can be kind of a bear sometimes. All right, let me, hang on.
It's not in my iPad.
Yeah. All right, let's double check. Make sure it might be case sensitive, K Hamilton 2429. Do you see that? You got exactly that?
It's 576.
You are so correct. The opposite of squaring is square rooting. So you are correct. You have x squared equals 576. And to undo this square, use square root. And x would equal what? You may use a calculator. Are you in, sir? Yes? Was that a yes? Okay, I'm interpreting Dorito's talk here. Do you have a pencil? Got it. And let's work on this one, 7576.
No, we already graded this one. Remember, this is the one where I got the one right, but they just need the quotation marks.
Okay.
We're doing this. I did some last week. I did half.
Okay, all right, then let's work on that one.
Yeah, but you graded the other one. Remember I came here yesterday?
Yes, okay. All right, I want you to try to put that in on your own, and then I'll check it for you, okay? All right. Hey there. So real quick, Kai, watch. Central means connected to the center. Inscribed, this is inscribed. Inscribed means it's on the circle, reaching out. Inscribed. Semicircle, of course, you have to use 3 letters for an arc. 3 letters, that's a semicircle. You try that one on your own, I'll check it in just a moment. Let's see, we're still.
Which work this way? I literally don't know.
Don't you have a calculator?
Yeah, but my phone is.
Where's your calculator, my dear?
I left it at home.
Why? You have math class today, kiddo.
I didn't know we needed it.
You are. Simple. Math class. Calculator. Every day. Okay? Do 576 square root. Wyatt, making sense? You almost done, sir? Abby, you almost done? Good. EK, you doing good? Okay. Well,
Oh.
I need you to go as fast as you can through this. It should
So
take
minor
you 20
art?
minutes.
Which one, minor art?
You know what? I should not be reviewing this with you if you've done this before. Okay? A minor arc is 2 letters. 5. 2 letters. 1, 2. Minor arc, 2 letters. Central angle connected to the center. That's central. Minor. Major is 3 letters going around. Major arc is 3 letters. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what'd you get, Gabriella? 24. Okay, you are correct. So right here, this is 24. What's over here? Semicircle is 3 letters going around the edge of the circle. What's this? 24. So let's do our here. This is diagonal. What's one diagonal?
120.
20. Good. Times our other diagonal, in this case, which is 48. Yes. Times 48. And of course, it's over 2. Without a calculator, 2 goes into 20 how many times, ma'am? 10. So what is 10 times 48, ma'am?
48. 40.
Just
4800.
you add a 0, kiddo.
4800. 40.
480
Yeah.
would be what? 480.
8.
What number is that?
What do you mean?
Well, say that number out loud.
480.
There you go. There you go. And let's check for units. I don't think there's any units involved, so we just go unit squared. Ta-da, you're done.
That was easy.
Okay. All right.
440.
I'll be right there.